Coming up in this week's show, we advise a viewer who wants to trade in his 2014 Kia Picanto for a newer hatch.
We help a first-time buyer choose a suitable hatchback under the 370,000 Rand mark.
And is it advisable to buy a vehicle from a rental company?
Hello and welcome to Buyer's Guide. We'll be tackling a fresh batch of your vehicle-related questions and queries once again. And here to help us this week are Fazana Shamu from Redline Motoring and Pogiso Debakwane from Pogiso Electronics. Welcome, lady. Welcome, Pogiso.
Thank you for having us.
How are you guys doing?
Good, thanks. Yourself?
Super.
Ooh.
Good to have you back in studio.
Fazana, nice to have you here.
Good to
Remember, if you like the panel's advice, you can send us an email at buyersguide@ignitiontv.co.za, or you can pop us a DM on Instagram @ignitiontv. And please give us as much information as possible, including a nice picture of yourself. Now we're going to kick off things with a question from Ian, whose daughter drives a 2014 Kia Picanto 1.2 EX. He would like to upgrade into a newer hatch in a few months' time. She's willing to spend up to 1,500 Rand per month, in addition to the trade-in value of the Kia, and they have the following vehicles in mind: a Suzuki Celerio, Kia Picanto, another one, Toyota Agya, and the Renault Kwid. She drives around 145 kilometers a day, so the vehicle has to be, of course, fuel efficient and reliable, and very low theft risk. Fazana, where would you go with this?
My pick from that list was the Celerio.
Yes.
You got 1 kilowatt more of power, but also
What a rocket.
the fuel consumption is the least on the Suzuki from the other models.
And it's obviously it's a low-risk vehicle in terms of theft. You know, unfortunately, as we know, when you put a Toyota badge on it, it doesn't matter what it is, they're going to steal it.
Yeah.
So the Agya, or the Agya, as they say in Bloemfontein, the Toyota Agya, that's out of the question.
Yeah.
I made an observation here. I don't think Ian...
Well, that's the first.
Ian loves his daughter enough. He actually put a Renault Kwid in.
Yeah, I discarded that option. So
You know, like I'm sure he's having a bit of a fight with her about wanting to buy a new car. So he says, "Go, jump in a Kwid."
Don't.
You know.
Pogisa, what do you think?
I would say jump in a Picanto, reliable.
Yeah.
Those cars are tough, and I mean, even the resale value is still good. When you try and resell a Picanto, the resale value, it holds the resale value, and I think it's from the other vehicles. The Kwid, I would discard that. The Agya, from an insurance point of view, and actually it's a daughter driving. It's going to be a bit of expensive in terms of insurance.
It's a good car, but unfortunately, he said he wanted something that's low risk. So unfortunately, where we live in this country of high risk stolen cars, we've got to stay away from.
We've got to stay away from that one.
Yeah.
The Picanto, it's the best bet. I'd say take the Picanto.
Okay, if we're going to put her in a Picanto, guys, why can't he just keep a 2014 Picanto? Because she wants a new car.
Well, we don't know what the
new
mileage
one, that one is a bit
It's
old.
in very good condition.
No, but the 2021 has extra gadgets, and from a design point of
A
view,
newer
it
tech.
looks cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, so it's got more
And
tech
a
in
little,
there.
and the screen.
And she's driving quite a distance, 145 kilometers per day.
So most probably the 2014, if she's driving 140 k's a day, the mileage is most probably very high. So I think we're all in agreement here. The Kia Picanto is a good option,
Yep.
and the Suzuki Celerio is also very, because the Celerio it's also a little car,
Yeah.
and it is simple, but it's got proven mechanical. So both of those cars, sometimes if you've had like a Picanto, do you want another Picanto? Maybe not, but
If you
the
love it
Picanto is a
much.
good car, and the Celerio is a really good car. Is there anything else you guys would like to throw into this?
Look, the 2014 does not have the latest gadgets.
Yeah.
And, when young people want cars, they want the latest gadgets.
Connectivity.
Connectivity, the screens.
Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Connectivity, music, from
Streaming,
a music
yeah.
point of view, and that individuality that I don't even have to put a CD in. So
What's a CD?
yes, you guys know CDs?
No.
Cassettes?
Yes.
I
That's
haven't moved on from tapes yet.
I haven't moved on. I'm still on 8-track.
Are you still
Yeah.
on dubs?
Yeah. 8-track.
All right, so we would say Celerio or Kia Picanto. So take your daughter along, see which one she prefers to drive, and go with it. Okay.
Right, moving on. Derek currently drives a 2010 Chevrolet 1.4 utility with 176,000 kilometers on the clock. He's in search of a more spacious vehicle within his budget of 160 to 180,000 Rand. He's considering a Ford Ranger, Mitsubishi Triton, or the Renault Duster. He's aware that the vehicles will have high mileage, but he's willing to purchase the vehicle provided that it has a good service history. Okay, I know which car I'm going for. Fazana?
I chose Duster. I do like the Duster, but also Triton, I couldn't find any in this price range. And the Ranger, I found in that price range 2013 to 2016 models, but they had very high mileage. Whereas Duster, 2015, 2017 models, there is some models you can find with under 100,000 kilometers mileage.
Diesel or petrol?
Most probably the petrol version, because the petrol version is a bit cheaper than the diesel version. But the engine's actually quite strong. That 1.6 petrol
And they're
engine.
very fuel efficient.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's actually not a bad
Very
engine.
fuel efficient
Yeah.
vehicles.
And then I threw another one in the mix I was thinking of, but then it's a bit older, the 2014, the Mahindra Scorpio is in his price range.
Yeah.
Yes, no?
Pukisha, help us out.
Well, look, I went for the Mitsubishi. I don't really like the Duster. The Ford Ranger, we know that is a high risk. And also, these vehicles, when the 2 liters, and they had a bit of crank issues. The 2.2 had engine issues. So I would stick with the Mitsubishi.
Yeah. What about, I always forget the name of it, the Fiat bakkie that was the copy
Oh, the copy.
the fullback. It's the same as the
Triton.
Mitsubishi Triton, it's just got different badging. So if you can find one of those in that sort of price range, it's quite a good
And you
option.
probably will because of the Fiat badge.
Yeah. The problem, like Pukisa says, you get an older Ranger with 200,000 Ks on it plus. They're really comfortable, nice cars to drive. If you can find one with a full service history, it's unlikely you're going to find it in your price bracket. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So it's quite a difficult thing. Your price bracket is in the sort of wrong place. 160, 180. Unfortunately, bakkies are expensive. But if you can find something like that, the Ranger's good. Mitsubishi Triton, the Fiat Fullback, I remember the name now. The Renault Duster, as Fazana said, you can find, and that's most probably the best value for money. If you get a Renault Duster, if you can get a 1.6 petrol or a 1.5 diesel, you'll find one in that sort of price.
I'll put him in a
100,000
GWM
Ks.
Steed, Adam.
Okay, now,
GWM Steed.
GWM Steed's another one to throw in there.
Yep.
But we are unfortunately out of time for this question. So stay tuned, because after the break, we consider different hatchbacks options for a first-time buyer.
And we determine the resale value of a long-serving Mitsubishi Pajero. You're watching Buyer's Guide, and if you've just joined us, welcome to this week's show. Lucky's fiancée is planning on buying her first car, preferably an automatic, and she has a budget of 370,000 Rand. Her heart is set on an Audi A1 S-Tronic, but Lucky has suggested she buys a VW Polo GTI, of course, Polo R-Line, or even a BMW 1 Series, which he thinks offers better value for money. She can then use the remainder of the funds to invest into a maintenance plan. Is this sound advice? I don't think he's going to get lucky.
What do you
I
think?
think he is. Well, look, from the list, all of these vehicles that he has listed are high risk, except the A1. But
Yeah.
I don't really like the A1. I would go for the 1 Series BMW. Maintenance plan, 5 years. Dealer network is everywhere.
Well, 370,000 Rand budget doesn't get you into a new one.
No.
Yes,
You
it
must
won't
probably
get
find at that sort of budget, you're looking at a vehicle that's got a very little bit of warranty left. Fazana?
Yeah, so for the 1 Series, I saw the old shape, there's 2018 and 2019 models. And then the newer shape, you can find a 2020 model, right? A
You
118.
need a lot of money for a maintenance plan afterwards, because things
Yeah.
are going to break.
But the 120 is good, guys.
I'm not particularly a fan also of the Audi or the A1. I also wouldn't put her into the VW, but also those are much more powerful. If her brain can't coordinate with clutch, would we want to put
Because some people don't want to drive manual. I get it. I
Yes,
don't
no,
wanna
I get it. I never want to drive a manual.
Traffic's
again.
horrible. Drive an automatic,
Yes.
that's fine. Personally, I mean, I know it's going to sound a bit strange, but I wouldn't buy any of those cars
Yeah, I also wouldn't.
with that budget. If you're buying those cars, you buy them brand new,
Yeah.
and they're all fantastic cars to drive, lovely to drive, but if they buy them brand new, keep them 3-4 years, and just before they expire the warranty, get rid of them. 370,000 Rand, you can go and buy yourself a brand new Chery Tiggo 4. I know they want a hatchback or something
Yes.
like that. But when you see those kinds of cars and you see the features that they offer and everything, you get brand new, you get a good warranty with it. You know, I think it's a much better buy. Haval Jolion, they're good looking cars.
I think maybe let's throw those out of the mix, the SUV, right? Because if I'm thinking someone young, someone like myself, what other options could we maybe give her? That's
Sure.
not.
That's why you're here.
That's
Tell
not
us.
SUV. Because I wouldn't put a Chery from these options, not Chery or Val or whatever, onto the mix.
How about a Suzuki
I was
Fronx?
also
Would you find
thinking-
yourself in a Suzuki Fronx?
Yeah.
Nah.
I like the Suzuki. Suzukis are really good, fuel efficient. They're not high risk.
Yes, and you get an automatic.
That Fronx is very nice looking.
And she'll have the full
But-
maintenance plan and everything.
Yeah.
But guys, from
And
the
she'll have
list,
change.
from the list here, this person is a Gucci wearing.
Brand snob. Yes, I'm with you. But this is
Okay, I see it.
this is why we're here to discuss that, to say
Yeah, but I mean,
Or
a better
some
option.
other
from the list
options.
here, maybe a different Audi.
Yeah, maybe a different Audi.
Yeah, maybe a different Audi. But from the list here, I kind of get a sense of what type of person that we're talking about here.
buy an Audi A3
Okay, so
then, if you're going to buy an
Let's hear what other options you.
I would go for
You see
used,
from the list here.
A3. Yeah.
An
It's
A3.
not her
A3.
that's a snob.
But then make sure that you
It's
get
lucky.
No, but like he knows the type of person that he's going out with.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I
No,
mean,
but okay, he said her suggestion, she likes the A1, but these were his suggestions for the Polos, the GTI, the R-Line, the 1Cs.
The BM.
Yeah, that's
1C.
his choice.
Yes.
I think in that list, if you're going to go, you want to add the Audi A3 then. If you want that badge snobbery, fine. Go for something like an Audi A3.
Unless
Yeah, I
he's
like
pushing
that.
it to get there
The
so he can
A3
say,
is
oh,
a
my
nice-
girlfriend drives that.
Yes, I think it is.
I like the A3 suggestion, Adam.
The
That's
Polo is a high risk. I think that's out
The
of.
Polos are high risk. The BMs are high risk.
No, the BM is not a high risk.
No, not so much.
It is in terms of maintenance.
The
The Audi
320D
is.
would do.
Yeah. Audi A3 is the most probably the less risky
An
one.
A3 is a nice
And then
option.
you find
Yes.
one, if you go to buy it from an Audi dealer, make sure you get an extended warranty, because maybe you find one that's near the expiry of his warranty. Get it extended, because you can extend it to much higher mileages. And certainly, then at least you're covering all your risky maintenance.
Okay, and you don't have to buy an aftermarket. You extend it with the Audi.
Or go like what I say and buy a brand
Yeah,
new.
highway plans, freeway plan.
Freeway plan will be extended. Okay,
Oh,
we're going to
yes.
move on now, because Zayed's family owns a 1995 Mitsubishi Pajero 2.8 with 118,000 Ks on the clock. They've had it for the last 21 years.
Whoa.
He and his family are considering selling the vehicle, but are struggling to reach an agreement regarding the price, because they want to share their money. His family believe that the vehicle is worth between 25 and 35,000 rand.
Yeah, bring
I'll
it
buy
to me. I'll buy it.
We'll buy it.
I'm here.
But he thinks it should be worth between 50 and 65, as he has seen similar cars with higher mileage being sold at a much higher price. What is a fair price for the vehicle in a private sale versus from a dealer? Well, of course, for a private sale, you're going to get a lot more money for it, because the dealer is going to buy it from you and want to make a profit on it.
Okay.
Have you guys got anything to add here?
Let's add something, guys. It's a Japanese import.
Yeah.
So that might be determining the price.
Well, look, I would say, can he get us his email address and contacts? Because I would love to buy it.
Yeah.
These
you
are
and
very
me and
rare.
everybody in the
Yes.
queue.
Yeah, these are very rare. They're very reliable.
But he's
if-
saying
if
if he
you-
has mechanical and transmission issues.
Yeah.
This car you can still run to 500,000 Ks. It's
Oh,
only has.
You know why, hey?
100,000.
It's a Mitsubishi Pajero.
Look,
It's bulletproof.
I would say try and sell it to the club guys. You know, the guys who are fanatics of Mitsubishi. And
You don't
who-
even need to. You just need to put an advert in the local
Yeah.
internet-based place where you buy cars and say, here it is, I want 75,000 Rand for it. And then you get people saying, no, I'll give you 65, and you take it and you move on. It is worth No, it's worth
No,
it.
driving 2.8 is worth
it is worth a bit more. What I'm trying to say is that to get a good value out of it, try and sell it to people who knows about
Yeah.
this particular model.
Look, we don't see the vehicle. It could be a rust wreck. You know, it
Hence
could
I
be
said,
just-
Rust
let's
bucket,
get,
yeah.
It's a
Let's get an
junk.
email address and an address so we can go and
Send
view
us pictures. We
and
want
then we
it.
just start auctioning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a popular car. People look for them. And to find reliable or capable, cheap 4x4s is very difficult. And under 100,000 Rand, it's very difficult. So a lot of people will buy that, and they'll use it just for on the weekend if they want to go fishing or off-roading or whatever. Or some people like to buy that vehicle. It's like, I'm buying it cheap because then I can put another 200,000 Rands worth of junk on it. You know what I mean? Extras.
Put higher suspension, bigger tires,
All
LED
that
lights.
So definitely your price of 25 to 35. Tell your family that's what you got for it. You keep the change. But it's worth a lot more. It's worth easy in the region of about 65,000.
You think all
Rand.
Indian people are like me?
Yes. Okay.
We'll be taking a short break, but when we return, we find out if it's advisable to buy a vehicle from a car rental company.
and we examine the possible remedies for a Renault Scenic with a snapped cam belt. Welcome back to Buyer's Guide. Up next, we have a question from John, who wants to know if it's advisable to buy a car from a rental company considering they replace their fleet every once in a while. What is the kind of issues he's likely to encounter when he buys one of these vehicles? Fazana, what do you think?
I wouldn't buy a rental. A car.
Why? Because you've rented a couple of cars, haven't you? Yeah.
I was just going to say, when I rent a car,
Yeah.
it's a 4x4
Yeah.
pavement climber. I take it on the beach.
Best
See how
4x4
fast it can
is-
go on the
is
same.
a rental Suzuki Swift. Okay, so what do you think about buying cars?
Oh,
from
look, I would buy from a rental. I mean, let's put it this way: a rental, reliable rental car company that we know,
Yeah,
versus a dealership that can disappear overnight.
sure.
I would buy from a rental. Service history is there. You look,
They're all fairly new.
they're all fairly new. Take the vehicle for AA. Make sure that the report doesn't report any accident damages.
Yeah.
And I would assume there will be some kind of responsibility that they would take if anything goes wrong within the
And
for the first 6 months or so.
You know, the plus side of that is, as much as it's in maintenance, whether it's a Toyota, Suzuki, whatever, gets maintained by the dealer. They have a deal with the dealers.
Yes,
So you can rest assured that
it was well looked after.
it's well looked after, and you'll have a full service history.
I don't have a problem with that at all with buying a rental car. Like buying any car, you have a car checked out and make sure it's all okay. You're going to get duff ones, and you're going to get good ones. There's more likely a chance of you getting a good one than a duff one. But like anything, go along. And the nice thing about the rental companies is, they don't buy one Suzuki Swift or one Polo.
they
Buy
have a
500 Polos, 500, and then when they come to sell them, you go to the dealer where they're selling those cars. There's a choice, not just one. I got a choice of 10 of those, and 10 of those, or 5 of those. And then go through them and find the best one possible that you can find. And then you'll find a reasonable car. They're all generally fairly low mileage, under the sort of, if I remember correctly, it's like under 50,000 kilometers.
Yes.
So the chances of you getting something that's really bad, like we've mentioned, obviously make sure the car hasn't been in a bad accident. But generally, rental cars, if they're in a bad accident, they get taken out of the fleet and moved on.
And yes,
So
they won't sell it. You're quite right.
so all the cars, you maybe find that somebody scratched a bumper, which is nothing. They paint the bumper, big deal. Doesn't make a car unreliable.
But just check on the service history.
Yeah, but you will see they'll all be up to date. They'll all be serviced. And the nice thing about rental cars is that if there are any issues brought up, they generally get fixed straight away. So in terms of buying a rental car, don't have an issue. Just make sure you check it out, because like any car, you can get a bad one. So have a look around. I'm sure you'll find the choice of them. You can find a good one.
You change your mind now, Fazana? Will you buy a rental car? And finally, Ivan is the owner of a 2003 Renault Scenic 2-litre. The engine is currently being repaired as the cam belt snapped, and he suspects that the camshaft is bent as well. Someone suggested to him to get the camshaft tested with a dial gauge. Is it necessary to do this, or will the workshop do it as a matter of course? He has already spent a lot of money on the repairs, but he's wondering if he shouldn't just buy another engine. Okay. Mukhizo, you've done this kind of jobs before.
Well, look,
That's why you got into electronics, because this kills you.
man, you should get rid of this vehicle. Look, if your camshaft already has damage, obviously where it sits on the cylinder head, there is damage. I would say rather go and get another engine, because there's just so many things that's just going to go wrong. But before that, maybe consult with the guys that you send the cylinder heads to for engineering, just to make sure that...
He said he thinks, or someone suggested that the cam might be bent. I very much doubt that it's damaged from oil and it's grooved and all that. If that was the case, absolutely get rid of the engine.
Yeah.
But he says he spent so much money already.
On the engine.
Yes, you should just have it checked.
Just have it
It's not
checked.
costly to have that camshaft checked.
Well, it's quite simple. I mean, I've done loads of these with broken cam belts, and that's just through poor maintenance. They need to be replaced every 90,000 kilometers. So if you've got a Renault with a cam belt on it. Every 90,000 kilometers, you have it replaced, and then you don't have these problems. Now, the camshafts on those cars are a solid camshaft. And I know what's happened is some of the new modern day cars have hollow camshafts, and the cam lobes are actually press-fitted onto the camshaft. A real stupid idea. But anyway, engineers are clever people. They design these stupid things.
That's why mechanics were brought into the
Yeah,
picture.
because the engineers couldn't design it properly
right
first.
first.
So we have to fix it for them.
That's
Yes,
it.
there you go.
So on the Renault, it's a solid camshaft. It will not be bent, and it will not. The lobes will not get knocked off like some cars where you have an
Change the
incident like
position
this,
of it, yeah.
where they change the position of the camshaft. So obviously, like the guys have mentioned, if, for argument's sake, where the vehicle is getting repaired, they will inspect the camshaft to make sure there's no mechanical damage to it. If there's no damage done to it, it can be refitted, can be fine. Obviously, it will have bent its valves. The cylinder head needs to come off. New valves get put in the vehicle and put it back together. It'll be fine. And just remember, when you do the cam belt, you must do all the tensioners and the water pump that go with it. And every 90,000 kilometers, you just replace it. Otherwise, those engines are actually quite solid.
And you know how we got the idea that the camshaft might be bent? Last Saturday, he was having a braai with the boys.
He was with his accountant, and the accountant
Yes, and he said, hey, but
You got too
check
many.
the camshaft, check the camshaft.
check YouTube, they'll tell you.
They'll tell
All
you,
right,
yes.
guys. Unfortunately, just like that, we've come to the end of another episode for Zana Pajero. Thanks for joining us today and giving us all your useful information. Unlike Segi, you guys are doing a great job here. Thank you.
Thank you
You
for
know, I'd
having
like
us.
to show Adam something, but hey, until next time, remember to keep left, pass right, and please keep it safe on the roads.